Welcome. Happy Sunday and welcome to Love and Entrepreneurship. I am Lisa, the boss lady.
And I am the guy that cooks Chef Square.
This is our 10th episode. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us for 10 whole episodes. So today is viewer's choice. So I want for you guys to tell us what you would want to talk about. And until then, because I know sometimes you guys are shy, but I definitely do want to hear from you because we're here because we want to help you guys. We're here for you. So I want to hear what you think that we should have for you, what you feel like you want to get from us so that we can give that to you. So we're going to start off by recapping because 10 episodes is a long time. That's a lot. That's a lot of information. 10 episodes, 10 different perspectives, 10 different points of view. And we have learned quite a bit from you guys. We've learned from you. We've gotten information from you. Definitely what I have picked up is that it's very advantageous to date an entrepreneur, right? Because we are relentless. Relentless is a word that I learned when I think about Chef Square. That is the definition of relentless. If I told you that story, that's a different episode. if I was to tell you that story, that's a totally different episode. So what we want to do is recap the main things that we have learned over the past 10 episodes from our guests on Love and Entrepreneurship. The main thing that we have learned is patience. Patience. You have to have a certain type of patience if you're dating an entrepreneur, or if you're an entrepreneur dating an entrepreneur. Even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're dating an entrepreneur, you have to have patience because entrepreneurs' hours are not their own. We have to adjust to the situation, however, and whatever the case may be. However, we have to make our money. That's how that happens. So if we have a date night planned and we have a client that contacts us at the last minute and we have to cancel our date night plan, then our significant other has to be patient and understand that, if we don't work, we don't eat.
Oh, so, no, I'm a firm believer of working while we eat. I mean, if you can do that on the grind, on the road, let's go.
That's another point, Chef Square. We'll come back to that point. But definitely patience. You have to be patient with love, and you have to be patient with, your significant other if they are an entrepreneur. And if you're an entrepreneur, then you understand that and you know that. If it's two entrepreneurs dating, then you have to be patient with each other as far as making time for each other, with your businesses. But that's a whole other tip. So we'll circle back to that one as well.
All right. I think number 2, the most important thing we've gotten over these last few episodes is communication. And that's one thing I can say that is a very important tool set to have being with an entrepreneur, because there has to be related information. There has to be a level of communication in which everybody can get what they need and what they want out and on the table, so it can be addressed. It can be either fixed, or it can be game plan for, or we can, I mean, communication can be used just to see where somebody else is, just, maybe your partner isn't in a place that you're at this particular point. Let's convey that. Let's if I'm feeling a different type of energy, if I'm feeling a different type of whatever, let's address that. Let's get it out. Let's get it on the table. Let's figure it out. Let's put both of our heads together, and let's be objective when we do it. I mean, because there's nothing more and nothing better than bringing everybody together to finish and solve a problem, and two heads already always better than one.
Absolutely. And just like Latriva Washington said, communication is key. Communication is key whether you're dating an entrepreneur or not. A relationship is built on communication. And if we are effective communicators, then we can be effective lovers, partners, entrepreneurs, period. Communication is key in every aspect of life. And if you're able to communicate effectively, then it can solve a lot of problems. Then there won't be so many hurt feelings. There won't be so many things getting misconstrued. And a lot of times, communication is it's a downfall for a lot of us. Sometimes when you're communicating something to your partner, what you're saying may not always be what they're hearing. Because you can, and this has been several times, Chef Square will come say something to me and communicate something to me, and what he says and what I hear are sometimes two different things. So you have to take the time to actually say, okay, I heard what you said, and what I heard from what you said was this. And when you say that, then you give the other person the opportunity to confirm or deny if that was what they were trying to convey to you. And if that was not what they were trying to convey to you, then they can tell you what they were trying to convey, and that will solve a multitude of problems, as far as professionally, as far as romantically, as far as personally, period. It will solve a multitude of problems.
Well, I would say that communication, if for no other thing, it's a bridge, and a bridge that connects two land masses normally is what a bridge is. And communication happens to be a nice bridge in between two parties, because you can't substitute that for anything. That is a necessary requirement. Most bridges, as if you look around the United States, most bridges connect major bodies of land. And so, we have to be able to use communication as a bridge to get things leveled out, and to get a steady flow of communication or transportation back and forth across this bridge. And you're right.
Yes.
Lisa, Danae, you are absolutely correct. Poor communication kills relationships.
Oh my gosh, it kills it more than anything else. Because trust is a form that's kind of like, I guess, under the umbrella of communication. Because if you're not communicating correctly, then somebody can easily mistrust you, and that can kill a relationship faster than anything else.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily falls under the same umbrella. It's a side effect.
Right.
I mean, trust is a side effect of good communication, because as long as the two parties are communicating, there should be a level of trust or a level of understanding, which produces trust. So,
agreed. So, point number 3, y'all, this is a weakness for me. Point number 3 would be time management. Y'all, I am so still learning this concept. And Chef Square will tell you it is my number 1 weakness. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Lisa the Boss Lady, she got it all under control. She got this. Oh my gosh, time management is horrible. But it if you're not with a patient significant other in time management, and you don't have the time management skills, it can be really horrible. Time management is important, not just for dating someone. It's important in your business as well. When you are managing your time, you have to effectively do so. You have to schedule, date night. You have to schedule when I'm doing this business. You have to schedule me time, and you have to schedule me time, and you have to follow your schedule. Some people who shall remain nameless sometimes are really good at scheduling their events, their me time, their date night, but they're really bad at following the schedule. And it goes hand in hand. You can't schedule it and not actually go by it. And a lot of people think that it's not important and it's not that crucial to actually schedule those things, but it really is, because when you're writing those things down, and if you're writing it down, in a planner or on a list or however works for you, when you're actually writing it down, it's making you remember to do it. And then when you go over your list and you follow that, then you're effectively planning your day, your week, your month, your year, and you find yourself able to cope better. You find yourself able to sustain better, because I will be the first to tell you that running around here on no sleep and by the seat of your pants is not the business.
Ooh. Here's another thing for you. With time management, let's not book yourselves into a frenzy, because what happens is you are so jam-packed, you don't leave yourself any playroom or wiggle room. Who knows what life will throw at you? Who knows? You might have an impromptu family emergency. It might be a medical emergency may come up. Friend may be in need. Who knows what could possibly happen, but anything can come up. And the best thing that you want to do is make sure that you have playroom inside of your schedule for the just in case. I mean, because booking yourself tight, it seems like a good idea. It seems that the more things you have going on, the better off things can be, or however you can, how much ground you can cover. But in all actuality, you run yourself down, you run yourself into the ground faster, because there is no stop to the grind. And what happens is over a period of a time, even the best motors that have been developed over the years of the automotive trend, there is no motor that can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and still stay strong and intact. It just is not. It does not exist. It has not happened. Even with the improvements of technology, it still has not happened. And so let's treat ourselves as such, because we are the motor vehicles, or the mode of transportation, or the driving force that governs our businesses and our lives. So you have to make sure that you can have your wiggle room and your playroom, so that way, if need be, you can adjust your schedules or adjust your lives back and forth in order to make sure that you're the total effective person that you can possibly be.
So when you're creating your schedule, you're saying that there should be time allowed for emergencies.
Yes.
That's something that I did not think of until now, but I definitely do think that that's a good idea, because I mean, life happens. We are not in control of every single activity of every single day, and if we don't plan for that, then it could be to the detriment of our relationship or our business. We have to make sure that we are covering all of our bases. So I think that's you brought up an excellent point. I made sure I put that me time in there, but I did not, make any wiggle room for emergencies, and that's important.
Well, that's because, that's what makes us such an effective team, because that is mostly ground that I cover. And because that is mostly ground that I cover, I make sure that I am in a place in which where I can be flexible to kind of cover whatever things that you can't cover. But we're going to come back to point number 4 after commercial break. See you in a second.
So, as we get ready for point number 4, um, going back a little bit to time management kind of makes me go, I guess, to the side of time management a little bit, and circling back to collaboration, because like I said, what you said was very complementary to what I said, as far as time management and scheduling everything, and scheduling and putting yourself, putting wiggle room for an emergency, or, a situation like that. And when you are dating an entrepreneur and you're writing down your schedule, I think it would definitely be a good rule of thumb to have your spouse help you as well. Because when things like that arise, like when I make my schedule and I make sure that I put such and such, I put, my business meeting, I put my me time, I put my self-care, I put, those things on my schedule. If I have my husband look over it as well, and he can tell me, okay, you didn't put time for this, or you didn't put time for this. Sometimes 2 eyes are better than one. So when you're doing your time management and you're taking all of those things into consideration, you should definitely include your significant other.
All righty, all right. Well, now we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break real quick, and we'll come back with number 4.
If you're looking for healthy meal prep, family-style meals, or catering for your next event, look no further than the East Traveling Square Kitchen with Chef Square, Alan Phillips, specializing in soul food, family-style dining, and southern flavor. Chef Square can adhere to dietary needs like keto and bariatric meal prep without compromising on taste. Take advantage of weekly meal plans like the Starter Pack, 5 meals for $75 with 3 entree choices. Additional meal plans and contact-free delivery is available. Contact Chef Square of the East Traveling Square Kitchen today at 832-495-8836 and tell them Stunner Radio sent you.
All right, we're back. So, which brings us to our number 4. Our number 4. I say, make sure that you complete your toolkit. Over these last 10 episodes, I've been able to complete my toolkit to a degree in which where I started using more things that I've learned in order to be an effective spouse and even an effective businessman. You can't ever stop improving yourself as a person. And I am a firm believer of self-improvement and the grind that it takes to become better than what you are or what you have been before, and to always evolve yourself. And there were some things that I did not even look at, or I didn't even look into until, we had a couple of guests on the show that kind of shedded some light on some things. And, I've just been able to really add a lot of things to my toolkit in order to be an effective spouse.
Like?
Well, one was just fine tuning. Well, one was fine tuning my communication. One was
definitely, we had a little issue with communication, and
right.
That's how I learned how to tell him what I heard and not just run with what he said, because what I heard sometimes was not what he was trying to convey.
Right. That was one thing that I had to really be purposeful with how I said certain things, and now I'm very deliberate. I'm very purposeful with like different things that I say and how I address certain things because they convey different messages. And I had to learn to actually be even fine tune my patience and even grab a hold to some other devices in order to fine tune my patience. um there were some things that I just wasn't patient on. I wasn't having it, and that was just what it was.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
so now I'm in a different capacity where I mean then again I do a lot of different things, and they have kind of inherently forced me into now understanding certain aspects. And because I understand certain aspects, I have an understanding and a better understanding of my wife than I probably previously had.
Definitely. And I know one thing that I put into my toolkit was time management, because the biggest thing that my husband had to say about me was packing my schedule so tight that I wasn't able to make room for him. Not if I was to make room for him, then I couldn't make room for the children. I couldn't make room for myself, or so I had to learn how to not pack my schedule so tight. As entrepreneurs, it's we're always go by the, oh, a busy schedule is a successful entrepreneur, right? And it definitely, a busy schedule is definitely a significance of your success or whatever, but you have to make sure that you are scheduling me time, because if you're pouring into other people, and that's what we do as business owners, we're pouring into other people. And when you're pouring into other, you can't pour into someone if nobody is pouring into you, because when you're pouring, there's nothing coming out. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Well, I would say that not just that though, because when you figure there are only 24 hours in a day, and you have a certain amount of time from sun up to sundown to accomplish certain things and certain goals, and you wear so many hats. There is the business person, and then there is the well, hold on. There's the person. Then there is the business person, and then there is the mother or father. There's the parent situation, and then there's the spouse, and then there is every other hat you put in that is insignificant other than what I just named. And you have to be an effective participant in each facet of each hat that you wear. And a lot of times we will forget to wear certain hats due to the lack of time and due to the lack of time management. Sometimes our relationships can suffer because we're too busy trying to chase the bag, and we forget that there's an active role that you have to play inside of a relationship. And there is no substitute for what it is that you're supposed to do in a relationship, because you are the intricate piece of the puzzle that is to solve what it is that is going on within the relationship. So you can't take yourself away from that trying to chase money. That is not going to do you any good, only if especially if you're in a relationship. Now, being single, push it to the max. Balls to the wall, let's go.
Yeah, but you have to prepare yourself for when you're not single, right?
This is true.
So when you are a single entrepreneur, absolutely go all out, rock it, kill it, push it to the limit. But don't get yourself into a mold that you're not able to add someone else in or transition someone else in to that life, to your life, because that's what happens a lot. That's what happens a lot. I can speak from personal experience. I was single for so long that when Chef Square and I began to date and we began to see each other, I had to learn how to make time for him in addition to entrepreneurship, being a mom, and sometimes working a 9 to 5, because I do that from time to time. So, I had to learn how to do that. And it was hard. It was very difficult. And had he been a less patient person, and had he been a less relentless person, then he likely would have given up. He likely would have walked away. And the goal of this is love and entrepreneurship. So that's not something, we don't want to do that. We don't want to have ourselves so booked up, so booked tight that we're not able to adjust and have the opportunity to share our lives with someone. So This is what I pulled from some of the other guests that we had on the show, mainly how important date night is. And sometimes we don't pay attention to that. Sometimes we don't emphasize how important date night is. Kimberly said patience to see things through. Absolutely. Patience, perseverance. Absolutely. You have to have that if you're going to see anything through. But a love and entrepreneurship are kind of, they're similar, because you have to put the same energy into both. You have to put a lot of energy into entrepreneurship. You have to put a lot of energy into love. Love is an action word, right? So you have to do those things. It's not, well, it's just entrepreneurship or it's just love. No, both of them are equally important, and both of them you have to work equally hard for. I mean, you want something good to come out of both of them. So you have to push hard on both fronts.
Yeah, I would say that patience and perseverance. Well, I look at it from this perspective. It was easy for me because it was something that I wanted. So I had a made up mind when I did it. So I think that helped me with my tenacity and my patience and my ability to see it through to the very end, because it was something that I really wanted. And the crazy part about this is if you take the same mindset and the same approach to your businesses as you do in your relationships, sometimes they yield the same results in different ways. As far as business is concerned, a healthy business means more money, or means a steady stream of income. Whereas that on the flip side in a relationship is a happy wife and a happy life.
Happy spouse, happy house.
So, I mean, I think that is very important. Very important. I and it was something that date night, when speaking of date nights, that was something that I thought that it was just something that we did,
Alan, that was beautiful. You knew what you wanted and waited patiently to strike. He wasn't always patient, Kim.
Well, I mean, sometimes being the boss means you have to execute power moves. So
thank you, Latriva. I agree. Those, happy spouse, happy house, because a lot of people do say happy wife, happy life, and it's not just about the wife. It's not just, we are not the only ones in the relationship. So you have to please your husband as well. If he's not happy, it's not a happy home for him as well. So, happy spouse, happy house, because it goes straight across the board. I definitely don't believe in double standards. But, Kim, he was very relentless, and he did. he was very patient. He was patient at sometimes, but sometimes he did push the issue.
Oh, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. I did happen to use a hostile takeover mentality towards what I wanted. So it was like by any means necessary.
By any means necessary.
So
White House down.
So let's at least say that I did exhibit some patience. Yes, I did. And yes, that in turn made it easy for me to be patient and tenacious and relentless. But I ultimately wanted what I wanted, and I got what I wanted. I mean, but it does take patience, though. It does.
Absolutely. That was the point. He knew what he wanted, and he made it happen.
Yeah.
He was very relentless in his approach, and I believe that could definitely be paralleled to to love and to entrepreneurship. When you approach, if everybody approaches entrepreneurship in the way that he approached this relationship, then we would be a successful community of Black entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's funny because like this is something that was shown earlier on in American history, and it has faded away since then. But now we're trying to institute that back. The village.
Right.
We're trying to institute the village back. Let's bring back the village. Let's bring back being able to use not only just who's in the household, but somebody that may be down the street, somebody that may be around the corner, somebody that may have seen you in passing, somebody that has respect for you that you've done business with. They may happen to see whatever they happen to see, out in the amongst the public. Let's get back to the village mentality where there was a community that raised children and not individuals, because when you think about it, back in those times, there were still single mothers, but you couldn't tell because there was the village that raised.
Right.
Kids.
I mean, you could definitely tell, but I mean, we all poured more into each other. We cared about each other a lot more, which is basically the premise of why we're here and what we're doing. We want everybody to know that entrepreneurship is not synonymous with being alone or being lonely. You can have love and entrepreneurship, and we are your village. We are here to give you all the tools that we have, as well as getting tools from other people, because during this journey we've taken pages from other people's books and have actually been able to be successful. I know Derek and Tiffany said that they had times where they would go and it was not business and it was a spontaneous thing, up and let's go, and no business. If you have like a small tidbit of business that bleeds over into your relationship, give it 15 minutes. I think they said 15 minutes to discuss, and then let it go. That's a big one. That's a big pro.
And shout out to them, because we used that like shortly after that show.
Absolutely. And we taken, tips from all of you guys, every person that has been on Love and Entrepreneurship. We have instituted that, into our shuffle, our craziness.
Shout out! I want to say shout out to the Dents, because before that show, I did not treat my marriage as a ministry.
That is hard. Time discussion as far as business when you're on vacation.
Right.
So if you have some business that bleeds over into your vacation, and it happens, then you have 15 minutes to discuss it before it gets pushed away.
Yep. And the reason why that's such an important tool is
that's different, Latriva.
Well, look,
that's different. That's under the communication umbrella.
Right. Now, the reason why it's a 15 minutes and then you're out is because you got to understand that whatever is couple time is couple time.
Right. That's it.
And that's it. Family time, couple time, that part is sacred. That should be a sacred time frame that you have set aside for your spouse that makes everything come together.
Hi, Ezekiel. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in.
So I think that is the most important thing is that, because anything else, I mean, it just makes things more complicated, because you end up dumping more on top of you than sifting through it.
Right. Right. And then what's the purpose of your couple time? Because it's gone. You've taken it and you've dedicated it back to your business. So you literally only went to a different location to discuss your business. Right. To work your business.
So in a sense, is not,
it defeated the purpose.
It really defeated the purpose, because there is no family time. There is no couple time. So in a sense, you have effectively pushed yourself out of the equation when it comes down to the relationship.
Right. So one thing that I took from LaFlower, Marcus and LaFlower, major shout out to the Buoys, to Marcus and LaFlower. What we took from them was going on off the grid type vacation, and their children and others have instructions on how to reach them in case of an emergency and what constitutes an emergency. That is super important. When Chef Square and I got engaged, we were on a cruise ship in the Southern Caribbean. We were in St. Kitts and Nevis. And my kids kept video calling me. And it was stuff like, can you tell Lily to stop bothering me? Can you tell them to give me back my headphones? Those types of things. Not an emergency, guys. And I'm in the Caribbean, and these roaming calls are a lot. So you have to make sure that you convey that information across to your family, across to your clients. Every time I go on vacation, I tell my clients at least 10 days prior, that I'm going on vacation, that I cannot be reached. Will they still reach out to me? Yeah. Absolutely. However, I am disciplined enough that unless it is an emergency and it's clients that I have on vacation that they need my help, they will have to adhere to the guidelines that I gave them concerning my vacation.
And you know what? And that's not even to mention, you never know how your spouse may react. And the reason why I say that is because there's been instances in where I'll be like, baby, go and handle it.
Right. But it depends. If it's not an emergency, it's important. Not even if your spouse is understanding and they are okay, you can handle that business. It is important to separate yourself when you are on vacation and to actually be on vacation, because it is not only training yourself, but it is training your clientele. Because if your clientele knows that you're on vacation and you're enjoying yourself and they can still reach out to you for something that is non-emergent, they're going to continue to do so. What you allow is what will continue.
Right. That is something that is very big, because you have to, and I'm a very big stickler to that. I only adhere to my set schedule. My turn down time is 5:00. I don't do anything outside of 5:00 is something special, and that is clearly okay with my wife. And if she has no problem with it, then let's get it. Other than that, 5:00, I'm rounding out my day. I'm rounding out my rounds. I have completed everything that I should have completed for the day with all of my businesses. I am now gearing up for the task of being a husband and a father. Other than that, I'm not trying to hear no business. If you want me to cook something, hit me in my inboxes on Facebook or IG. And if I don't get to you until the next day, that means that you done caught me in some family time.
After business hours. Correct. You have to have business hours and you have to adhere to them. Because if you don't, you will get caught up with one more customer, one more customer, one more customer. And that never ends. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate you guys for watching. So another thing that I took from Lady Hill was how her husband and her, they do things side by side because they're very, very busy in the community. And Lady Hill, she feeds the seniors. And that's something that herself and her husband are both passionate about. So they're able to get some time in together by doing that together. That's an activity that they do together. And Chef Square and I, we have a couple of businesses that we work together, and that can definitely sometimes be how you get some time in working your business together, especially if it's something that both of you love. If it's something that both of you are passionate about, you can definitely get that time in while you're both handling business.
And I will say, if sometimes the work-play balance has to be established, because I can be a bit of a kid and I like to play when I work. And so sometimes I use it depending on where we're at and what business we're conducting. I like to be the naughty coworker. So,
it really is.
And I mean, it's just to keep the spice, to keep the spontaneity going, and breaking up the monotony of the everyday grind. Just trying to add a new element here, add a new element there, and make the daily grind that much more enjoyable, make it that much more fun, make it that much more appealing. Because if you don't, then it turns into a boring, just axe grinding affair, and that's not good and conducive to anybody. So that's something that I would say, like, get a business that you can work together and be able to talk out the business of the day, or whatever happens to happen, throughout the day or throughout the work week or what have you, and just take it from there. I say, work and play is always fun, especially when you're the naughty coworker.
Well, I'm the pranking coworker when I'm not being the stickler coworker. I am the manager that, let's get this work done right now. And if we are having a time where the work is done really good and we don't have to put as much effort as normal and we have a nice flow, then I'm the prank coworker. I will play pranks on my husband.
Yeah, I
know. And that's important. It's important to have fun. It's important to have fun with each other, because nobody wants to do anything that's boring, that's not fun. It's the same thing as working out. If it's time for me when I need to go work out, it's gonna need to be something fun that I'm gonna want to do. Because how hard is it to drag yourself to the gym if it's something that you don't want to do? And that's the same thing with your relationship, and it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You do what you're doing what you love, and you found out a way to make your passion your paycheck. That's why you're an entrepreneur. So it's not something that somebody has to make you get up and do. You want to do it because you love it. And that should be the same thing with your relationship, and that should be the same thing with the balance, of your relationship. So if it's something that both of you are passionate about and you do it together, that just makes your relationship a little bit stronger, a little bit more enjoyable, because that's something that you share. Those are memories that you make. Those are, times that you have fun. Remember when we did this, together. And if it's something like that, something like, feeding the senior citizens, not only are you getting your couple time in, not only are you doing a service to the community, but you're being a blessing to each other and someone else at the same time. And that's not something that, that's not comparable to anything else. That's not a feeling that's comparable to anything else. So major shout out to Harold Hill and Lady Hill, for everything that you do in the community, and major shout out for giving us that huge tip, because that's something that of course we take into consideration, because
Right.
we do things to, as well, that we are both passionate about, and making it something that we can do together. That's a big one. That's like that's huge as far as, going forward in our relationship, business wise, and marriage wise. So we will be right back after this quick commercial break with homework. I know y'all thought y'all was getting away from it, but nope. We'll be back with your homework right after this.
This show is sponsored in part by Houston's own multimedia mogul, Lisa the Boss Lady, motivational speaker, travel agent, sales consultant for Bye Bye Belly, Bedroom Candy, and Candy Coated Cosmetics, and coming soon, the co-host of the hot new talk show, Love and Entrepreneurship. If you're looking to start a business or you just need some inspiration, contact Lisa the Boss Lady. It's time to boss up in 2021. Follow her on Facebook and Instagram at Lisa the Boss Lady, or visit her website, lisathebosslady.com. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 10 of Love and Entrepreneurship. We are super excited, and I cannot tell you how thankful we are to all of you guys that have been here for us to interview, that have tuned in, have given your input. We are really forever grateful to all of you. So I know here's a time that you're not really looking forward to, but you're kind of looking forward to. It is homework time. So the homework for Love and Entrepreneurship is, I want everybody to go to Love and Entrepreneurship on Facebook and share one tool or go-to tip for Love and Entrepreneurship to be entered into a drawing for a prize. So I really want you guys to participate, and please understand that I give really good prizes, okay? So you definitely want to go to Love and Entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for your support, Zeke. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Gus. We really appreciate all the support from you guys. So I definitely want everybody go do the homework. Go to Love and Entrepreneurship on Facebook and and post a tool or a go-to tip for Love and Entrepreneurship. It doesn't even have to be original. It could be anything that comes off the top of your head. It could be something we said, anything. And when I see your name and your tip, I'm going to enter you into a drawing. And remember, I give really good prizes. So I definitely really appreciate you guys for tuning in to Love and Entrepreneurship. Please like, please share, please go to Love and Entrepreneurship on Facebook. It's Love and Entrepreneurship, and it's spelled out on Facebook. Like, share, go to love.and.entrepreneurship on Instagram. Follow, like, share, and tell everybody about Love and Entrepreneurship. If you know anybody that is interested in being on Love and Entrepreneurship, then send them our way. You can inbox myself, Lisa Middleton Phillips, or you can inbox Alan Phillips, Chef Square. And we are very interested in hearing everybody's take on Love and Entrepreneurship. But definitely do not forget your homework. Definitely go and make that post, one tool or tip for Love and Entrepreneurship, and I will enter you into a drawing for a prize. And we might do 2 prizes.
Who knows?
So until you write your tip, you'll never know. So again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Love and Entrepreneurship for our episode number 10. Please come back, like, share, stay tuned, because we are doing much more. Next Sunday, we will have Mr. and Mrs. Jacorian Burks, and we're super excited about hearing from them about how they make Love and Entrepreneurship work. So until next Saturday, thank you guys. Next Sunday. Until next Sunday, thank you guys. And don't forget, catch the replay on Stunner Radio. Have a great Sunday, guys.
Take it easy. Time for the chef to go to work.
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle but have less than perfect credit? Look no further than Mi Amigo Motors, offering in-house financing to help you build or reestablish your credit. All vehicles are put through a multi-point inspection, and their award-winning customer service and on-site service center will make your buying experience stress-free. I know you got your stimulus check and it's tax refund season, so stop by Mi Amigo Motors today at 9729 Long Point Road or give them a call at 832-548-5927 to reserve your appointment for their VIP approval. Again, that's 832-548-5927. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.